Welcome back to another video for HarborFinancialOnline.com. Today I'm going to be talking about the mileage tax deduction for your federal and state taxes and how to report the mileage deduction if you have a job or if you're self-employed. So let me get the video going here and I'm going to try to help you guys out. So when you itemize on your tax return, you can claim the vehicle mileage deduction if you weren't reimbursed by your employer for the full amount that's set by the federal government. This is 50.5 cents per mile. So if you drove for your work and you weren't reimbursed this full amount or any of it, you can qualify for a full reimbursement deduction on that amount. Now this won't qualify for commuting to work and commuting back. This is how this works if you had a job, is if you got to the office and they're making you go run errands with your own vehicle, your own personal vehicle, making you drive to pick up supplies, making you go meet with clients. This is if you're a regular employee, not a contract employee. Making you do all this, say they're reimbursing you 20 cents on the mile. Well, now there's a difference of 30.5 cents because you have 50.5 cents per mile you qualify for. You'll be able to report that and get a reimbursement deduction on that, okay? So you want to make sure on that. You do get other mileage deductions when it comes to charitable miles driven and medical miles driven and actually moving. So I see a lot of people miss these areas, miss the charitable, medical, and moving. For charitable, this is very simple. If you're going to drop off items at the Salvation Army, you get 14 cents. You can be reimbursed on your tax return for every mile you drive there and back. Not just to the organization, but if you leave there, you go back home, you get that mileage. But if you leave there and go do other things, you're not going to get all that mileage, just from there straight back home. Same with medical. If you're making a lot of trips to the hospital for medical, it can be for your spouse, not just for you, you're going to get that deduction, 20 cents per mile. So that can add up if you're going 3-4 times a week and say you're driving 50 miles each way. That can be a big deduction. And that's going to be done on Schedule A. Schedule A is part of your regular Form 1040. You have to itemize deductions to get these reimbursements though, okay? Now, you can deduct mileage if you have a business too. So there's a lot of people that are new to business don't realize that. What they get confused on is, say you have a personal vehicle. They think, well, I have a personal vehicle, I'm using it for business, I can't really do the deduction for mileage. You can split up personal and business mileage. You just have to have an accurate log of how many miles you're driving for business versus personal. Because what they're going to ask in the return is how many miles did you drive total for the year. So I'm just going to give you a quick scenario. Say your odometer showed that you drove 15,000 miles that year. Your log should separate, that you're keeping track of every day, your mileage log should separate out of that 15,000 how much you drove for business. So let's say you drove 5,000 for business out of that 15,000. That's going to mean there's 10,000 miles left. That's going to be for personal. You split that up and that's going to get reported, and when you have a small business, it all gets reported on Schedule C. I have other videos on Schedule C if you don't know what I'm talking about that'll show that for you guys. The mileage rate is always changing, so make sure to keep up to date with it. The IRS is always changing that mileage deduction amount. It's at 50.5 cents right now, but it's constantly going up and down. So you want to check out the IRS website to see if it's still the same. Again, the IRS requires you to have a log detailing the mileage by day and locations. This can be easy. It's up to you how organized you want to be, but you just keep a quick pad log in your car, your truck. Put the dates in there. You get in there in the morning. You write down what the odometer was at the end of the day, you write what it's at, and a quick, 3-word description of what you did. Went to the hardware, went to job site, things like that. Again, when you're doing the medical and charitable, you still want to have a log. You want to have some kind of records that you can prove after you report that on your tax return. And again, this is one of the most common areas missed for the mileage deduction, is for medical and charitable. Again, you can use the same vehicle for personal and business. If you have multiple vehicles, you can still do the same thing. Say you have 2 business vehicles that are solely business and a personal car. You still might use that personal car, some for business. So you can report all 3, you just have to separate that one car that's personal and business. If you don't drive too much for the business, you don't always have to do the mileage deduction. You can do actual vehicle cost, but you can't do both. So what I mean with the actual vehicle costs are gas, oil, maintenance, things like that. If you're not driving much, report all that, but you can't do both. Okay, you can't report the cost of gas and the cost of mileage. It's one or the other. You can't deduct mileage driven to work and back, your commute. A lot of people will try to do that, and that's not following the tax laws. You cannot deduct commuting to work and back. I mean, that would be great if we could. We'd all save a ton of money, but that's not how it works. I want to take you to our site real quick. This is harborfinancialonline.com. We offer our free online refund calculator. This will allow you to put in what we're talking about in today's video with the mileage deductions and see how it's going to affect your refund, because it will have a big effect on your refund if you had a lot of mileage. And say that you're putting in mileage now for your job, you're not getting reimbursed for the mileage, you get that. You're driving for medical, you're driving for charitable organizations. You can have a lot of miles now on your car that are going to be fully deductible. But you have to itemize, which means you have to do a regular 1040. You can't do a 1040 easy if you itemize, so it has to be a regular traditional 1040. This is our site again, harborfinancialonline.com. I recommend checking out the site. This is all free information that we offer on credits and deductions, like the mileage deduction. So after the video, you may want to check out some other videos, but the site offers a lot of great information. I appreciate you watching the video. Like I said, we're always trying to put new videos up. We cover all areas of tax. Our site is continuously being updated with new tax laws and new changes. And we're just trying to bring new information to you guys to help you increase your refunds. Thank you.